Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see I have a double pager here, but they are definitely different sizes. On the left I've got a 4x8, so I have two 4x4 pockets, and on the right I have a full 6x8. I decided to do a digital layout for this one, and this is a template. These tags that are on there, that is part of the template. I bought a set, I think there are maybe 8 designs in there. I bought a set of 8, and this is probably the one from that set that I used the least because it's a little difficult to figure out what's going to work in there. But since I only had floral photos, I figured, you know what, this is kind of a safe bet. I could use this one. So I filled in all of the spots that really called for a photo. I could have potentially made a small box and done a really narrow photo, but I chose not to. But what I need to do here is I need to add something to all of the holes here, and I think I'm going to do rhinestones. I am trying to keep this album relatively flat, but the rhinestones will not add that much of a 3D element, so I think I'm going to go for it. So I have to figure out colors, what I want to do there. And then I need to figure out what kind of embellishments can I fit in here that fit the theme, aren't distracting, what have you. And I do know I have lots of floral stuff that I could add in amongst there. So I have that. And then over here, 4x4 cards are not something I have a lot of. I do have some that I actually just got in the last couple of weeks that are part of, they were on a 12x12 sheet of paper and you just cut them apart. But I think they're very much travel themed. I don't know that any of those are going to go with this, but you never know. I'll take those out, I'll look at them and see what I have. I wanted to just show, these are the 4x4s that I have, and they're all from the same sheet. Very much travel themed. This is the only one that maybe I could get away with, and it kind of matches. I mean, there's a little bit of yellow, but look what's on the back of all of these. This was the paper on the other side. It's actually not bad. Really, the only color in here that's not represented in the photos is that blue, and I would be okay with that. I'm just worried this is too much. It is quite busy, even though it's just lines, all the colors and everything, the pattern, it's busy. But I'm keeping it as an option because you never know. I'm also going to just take out my 4x6s and see, is there anything in here I could cut down to a 4x4 that would match these colors. I could even go black and white because I've got black and white happening here. So between all of those, I'm sure I'll find something. I've also opened up my rhinestones here. This is how I keep these. You can see I have others in there as well. I even have floral ones. So maybe I should switch to that. I was just going to do this because I already have so many flowers happening, but I could switch to those flowers, but would they look weird over this? I don't know. But at least I have those out. I've got my cards, and now I can really get started. I have located 2 cards, 4x6s, that I could cut down. And one is from my travel pile, one is not. Here's this one, and it's kind of wild. But most of the colors in here are represented, and I figured what I could do is kind of cut this pretty close to that line or even right on that line, and then keep this one pretty close to that green. So this is what you would see, and a lot of those colors are in here, but it's quite wild. I'm not sure how I feel about that. This one is much more subtle, much more simple. Definitely the orange is in there. The only thing is I'd have to cut part of this off, which is fine. I don't know that I need all of that, but it would have to fit like so, which I think is actually okay. So I'm definitely leaning towards this one, but I kind of wanted to pick out that before I did anything else over here with the embellishments and then the rhinestones, because I just wasn't sure how that color scheme was going to work. So now that I have this stuff all picked out, I can get to work on that. I've cut the card down, and I like that there's a little bit of room over here, but I still have room to journal. I think I'm actually just going to write in there Conservatory of Flowers, because that's what this is called. And I do have this on the previous page, but it doesn't say anything about what it is. So I do want to have that in there, and that allows me that space. Awesome. Now I'm going to go through, I have all of these bits and pieces that are floral. So I'm gonna go through here and see if I can use anything in here to decorate this card on the upper portion and see if I can get it to work with what's over here. I found a bunch of pieces in there that I like that are in colors that should match. So I've got all of these three where it matches that pretty well. It's got this color, so I think that's more of a yellowy, like a buttery color, but it definitely matches these. Obviously these are white, so I've got white pieces here. There is a little brown on them, but I actually think that might be good. Just like layer them underneath with a little poking out, because it just adds a little bit of a color differentiation in there. So let me move those. And then I found some yellow pieces. Now I will say this one is the closest in color to that. These are a little bit more of a true yellow, where this is like more of a buttery yellow. So I don't know that I will use these. I don't mind the blue in here, but this one, the leaf color is a little weird. Like it's definitely not a true green. It doesn't really match anything else. So if I had to guess, I would say it's gonna be some kind of a mix of these pieces, but we will see what I can put together. I've put together this cluster here, so I'm thinking something like that. And that uses all 5 pieces. I wasn't sure that I would use both of those brown ones, but I kind of like it. And when I have them next to each other, I do think that brown helps. So when I'm embellishing over here, I think I need to find maybe a matching piece of that. I do have this one that I had pulled. It's ginormous, but maybe I could just like do part of it somehow and clip it off. Otherwise, I might have maybe one other piece. Clearly these were from the same set. I may have one other brown and white piece, I'm not sure. Maybe I could use that. Otherwise, I will just find something else in my stash. Okay, I have these all adhered to the card. Very happy with it. I love just the different colors. I am considering, do I need like some green? Because I have a little bit here, but that's kind of it. Or is this enough? I may wait to add green or anything else to that until I finish over here, just to see what I end up with. But I do need to clip off the tops here. I did let one of the flowers kind of overlap, so I need to get rid of those. And then that's what it looks like along the top edge, which I'm happy with. And then I think before I start embellishing the other side, I'm going to just do my journaling on here. All right, so I have this done. Did my journaling / title in there. That's awesome. Then I decided to look for more of the brown and white pieces for this side, and I found this one. So this is a little more just like a sprig of something, not an actual flower. It's more about the leaves, but I dig that. I think I'm actually going to put it right here, and I will squeeze in as much as I can, and then I'll just clip off what's missing. But I like it because not only does it bring the brown over there, but then I also have some nice white space where the eye can rest, and then I can still do a color here with my rhinestones. So I am going to attach that, clip off the extra, and go from there. I have added in all the rhinestones. I think I have them in a configuration that I like. I'm going to zoom in my camera here so that we can look at those more closely. So I have kind of the amber yellowy color. I've got a very, very light pink, light green, and clear. And that's how they're distributed. So really I end up with only one pink, but the only pink really is around the edge here. So I felt like if I was only going to have, you know, one in that color, like that was the color to do, whereas the others I think needed 2 to bring all that in. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. I do have the option too, obviously, like if I have this here, I could embellish with more pink. I could put something here, layer a little pink flower here. And actually, now that I think of that, I might do that just to bring that in a little bit. I have most of this completed. You can see here, I'm going to back out a little bit. There we go. You can see I have all the rhinestones adhered. I added a pink flower here on top of the brown. I'm going to add, I can pick it up here. These must be from the same set here, but I'm going to add a pink one like this up here. I'll clip off a little bit that I don't need. And I'm thinking this for this bottom one, kind of angling it like so and letting it trail off like the others. I like it that I've got kind of this color pink like here, but then there's also a little bit of red like here. I just think that's probably the best of all worlds here. And then I've brought in pretty much all the colors that are there. The only thing is I don't have this lighter pink over here. I have the coral, but not the pink. So then of course I'm wondering, do I need to go back and add that in too? Thought I was done with that, but you never know. I have everything else down. I did find this other pink that matches these two, so that's awesome. I am going to put it in here somewhere. Maybe I should do it like under here. Is that too much? Kind of like it. I don't want to add anything along this edge. I like that it's just open. So let's do this one here. That just kind of peeking out. How does that look? I like it. So let's see it together. Is this good? Is that enough? I think so. Like, I thought even maybe I'd have to stamp on here or something, like inside one of these across where it would show up, but I don't think I'm going to. I think between the busyness of this side and plus everything I've got going on here, like, that's enough. I don't need to say more than the title. So here's another one done for San Francisco. Thanks for watching.